Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are now listening to That Infernal Noise podcast, part of the Mental Health News Radio Network. Fuck yeah. Hi. We're back, kind of. Maybe.
Sort of.
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't even know where to start.
I don't. As much as I would love to say, oh, I know how to start this one, I don't. So,
Taking God. A month off.
not tomorrow, Monday. Yeah.
Well, I guess just explain why.
So, for the second year in a row, we had someone pass away weeks before Christmas. This time it was really
My biological mom.
Yeah. It was my mother-in-law, it was Robert's mom. Completely out of nowhere. And it happened almost a month ago, and it doesn't even seem, it feels like, oh my God, it's only been a month. And it's like, oh, it's already been a month.
It feels like both
At the same
time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's fucking weird.
It's so weird. The time dilation or whatever.
I was having that thought the other day. It's just like, you know how much I was complaining about, God, I wish time would just slow the fuck down before all that. And now it's just like, I wish it hadn't slowed the fuck down.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like it's dragging on.
Well, it came to a screeching halt. Like, full on e-brake, fucking Tokyo Drift style, like, stop. And that's what it felt like. And it feels like we've been kind of just drifting to kind of carry on the Tokyo.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that in the process of all that was all the holiday shit, and it completely, well, one, our schedule was fucked from that moment,
Yeah.
regardless. But then our normal shit was screwed up too because the kids weren't in school. There was days off here and there. Like, you had just started a new job and da-da-da-da-da. Like,
Yep.
and I just noticed my voice doesn't sound the way it usually sounds.
What do you mean?
I don't hear my normal voice right now. I guess because of all the congestion or whatever.
Maybe.
So,
Maybe.
that's a plus.
So, it was just, I mean, it's a weird, December's a weird month anyway. Because
we already get in the doldrums in general.
Well, I mean, just in the masses in general.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
whenever it comes to holidays and shit, we always get like that anyway.
Right.
In the past 2 years, obviously, that's been exacerbated.
Yeah.
And it's not normal that right after Christmas, I'm like, take these fucking decorations down. But that's how it was this year. It's like,
I don't want to see it.
it just kept reminding me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it didn't go through the, what is it, like the withdrawal of taking it down like I usually do.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, that helped. Like,
It did.
sort of. Because it's not,
A reminder.
I guess. I don't know.
And anyone, I don't even know if this is going to see the light of day, but I can already feel the tears here.
I feel like we're going to put it out.
I can already feel them right here. I can feel them. So I'm going to cry. Just putting that out there for everyone. Because this kind of this whole situation really shook the ground that we stand on. Mostly because In the past 5 years, we've had four deaths.
5. Tedora, Diane, Jody, Grandma, Mom. Well, Tedora might have been 6 years.
Yeah, I think I wasn't counting that one
Oh,
just
well,
because.
regardless, but
Well, yeah, in the past, 5, 6 years then, there's been 5 deaths. Most of them, actually all but Mom's, you could see coming. Tedora had dementia, Alzheimer's,
and she had it for a while.
and was, and so did Grandma. And Grandma was
Grandma's was quicker. It wasn't. It
as
still
drawn
wasn't
out.
as good. Or still wasn't good, but
Yeah.
we knew that one was coming.
There were other medical things
Yeah.
involved. She had strokes. There were other things and she was in her 80s. You're like, okay, once you hear someone in their 80s is having problems and, passes away, it's like, oh, that sucks. It's sad. It hurts. But they were in their 80s. They had a long life and they got to experience a lot of shit. And I'm not saying
Diane was older and had health issues.
Yeah.
Jody obviously had.
Well, he had
wasn't
cancer.
older, but
He had cancer.
we at least knew that
there was preparation.
coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there
and
was.
I hate saying it that way.
There was
but
prep time for everyone but Mom.
there was no indication.
No, there was no. I mean, she was a type 2 diabetic, but she wasn't having complications with that at the time. She wasn't.
She had actually been better about all of that.
Yeah. So it really shook the foundation, especially with it being a year and 2 days.
Literally a year.
Literally a year after Grandma died. I think that's what. I think the suddenness and the just the suddenness of it would shock us no matter what age it was. It's just the fact that she was better. Like there was no
real indication.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like.
No.
I mean, I was the last one to talk to her, and I usually have that feeling in the pit of my stomach whenever shit's
You could
going
hear it
wrong.
in when she called, you could hear something was wrong.
You could hear something was wrong, but it didn't
You didn't think
it didn't raise any red flags or anything like that. And
Yeah.
obviously we've had that conversation where it's just like, well, what if it had, and I had done something or gone over there or like.
And as many times as we've had that conversation, just to kind of give everyone a timeline, it was a Friday. We had one kid home from school. They weren't feeling well. So we had 2 at school. We had our youngest, and when I say the oldest, I don't mean the oldest of our children. I just mean the oldest of our children that are in school. So we had our oldest in school. We had our youngest in school. Our middle school child was home already. We
Middle school child. No, he's literally in middle. Sorry, that's just.
Mom called us around 11:20 something in the morning. She was talking about how she wasn't feeling well. She thought her blood sugar had dropped. She was trying to get herself some food, and she felt nauseous. Stomach wasn't feeling right. Kind of. There was a bunch of indicators looking back at the situation, because hindsight is what it is. Knowing heart attack signs and signals are completely different for women than they are for men. And knowing that anxiety is a big indicator for women, feelings of anxiety, hearing the beginning of our conversation and how she was feeling, I think that's what it was. There were also bodily fluid, vomit, things like that also really indicate. And of course I know we will never know, because we didn't have medically, there was No autopsy done, nothing like that, you know. But we get a phone call that she's not feeling well. We talked to her for almost 15 minutes. She's on speakerphone. I'm kind of having a conversation with her, like, she can hear me, I can hear her. Yeah. You know, and by the end of it, it was laughs and smiles and jokes. It was normal. It was a normal conversation.
You've heard that conversation 100 times
Yeah.
between me and her.
Yeah. And then, about an hour and a half later, we get a phone call from your uncle saying that, because one of your aunts and uncles lived with mom, just for story, because you and I know, the 5 people that listen may not know, so but we know them, so they probably do know. So we get a call from your uncle that your aunt had found mom unresponsive, and that's all we knew initially, was unresponsive. He's trying to get home. We're trying to get the kid that we have home sick, and ourselves together, because we're trying to go over there. We're trying to figure out what's going on. We're trying to... What the fuck happened? We were just talking to her an hour ago, hour and a half. And we're maybe 10 minutes out from the house, and we get another phone call from your aunt. Paramedics were there.
While I'm on the phone with my sister.
Yeah, so there's 3 of us in the car. There's a person that you're on the phone with, and then I'm on the phone with your aunt, who then puts me on the phone, who hands her phone to a paramedic. I could never be a paramedic. I could never. Sorry, I was just thinking about the conversation I had with that man.
Sorry, I just realized why you didn't put on makeup like you usually do.
I haven't been.
Well.
He walked me through what was done medically, the condition she was found in, and then he said 5 words that was the only thing I could say out loud. I heard words in my head, and it was just like a microphone or a megaphone. Because what he said in my ear is what came out of my mouth. I didn't formulate new words. I didn't put new words in. He said there's no signs of life. And as I feel horrible for the situation and how it had to be handled. I mean, life is life, and you can't script this stuff. Like, you can't write out what someone is going to say to you, what you're going to say, and how everyone is just going to come into place, and everything's just going to fall into place, and the pieces are going to just click, and the picture's going to be done. That's not how it works. I still feel bad, though, because all I said were his words of, there's no signs of life. So I had to tell my husband, one of my kids.
You didn't tell me. I heard you repeat it. And my exact words were fuck.
But, and I know, but that's what I mean. I said out loud. So that's how you found out. That's how one of my children found out. And that's how my sister-in-law found out that my mother-in-law died. Knowing that they tried, though. They put the pads on her. They tried. They tried. Means, I can't even say it means a lot. Because I think that by that point it was doing it. It was, what's the word? Perfunctory. Because they have to.
Well, I mean, they have to try everything.
They do. I just, I remember every detail about that day.
So do I.
As someone who has been treated like property the vast majority of my life, I understand that she didn't belong to one person. She wasn't just your mom. She wasn't just Crystal's mom. She wasn't just
Mama.
She wasn't just
A daughter,
a
sister.
a sister, a friend. She was a human being. And I know I have my own personal issues with feeling included or feeling part of. But that woman never made me feel out of place.
Even given the tumultuous nature of how we got together and all that.
Never made me feel out of place. Always made me feel welcome.
As did Jody.
Oh yeah, Jody.
But it's not. We're not talking about him right this second.
Honestly, the view of us through Jody's eyes is we could do no wrong.
I don't probably.
And I don't mean that as in. I don't mean that as in.
I know I pissed him off. Multiple times.
And I'm not saying,
but it was because of me and Mom's relationship at the time.
He didn't expect anyone to be perfect, obviously. And I think that's what made it so great that he thought that we could still do no wrong. Like, he would still get mad, he would still get angry. But the amount of care and compassion and love from that man was incredible. And the same thing goes for Mom. Like, you only see people from certain angles, certain sides, certain points of view.
I almost wore my Obi-Wan shirt. For the record.
But, like,
I had just stopped smoking.
yeah, just. It's just very. She never made me feel out of place. There was always a spot open. Wherever she was. And I know there's probably people out there asking why I'm talking so much about your mom, but
It's hard. Like, I've talked to so many people ad nauseum about all this shit, and it just sucks to talk about, to be completely fucking honest, you know? Like, I've rehashed it a million times in my head. It's caused all manner of fucking anxiety and, oh, well, what was that? I had, okay, initially I didn't want to go to sleep. Like, I was just scared of fucking everything. And I still am to a certain extent, but almost a month later, it is getting a little bit easier.
but that's still not saying a whole lot.
It's not.
It's not.
But it is at the same time, because I slept better last night, literally just last night, compared to the rest of the month.
Same.
I don't know why. I'm thankful for it. So thankful for it. Because I've been feeling like I'm going insane. Like, what is reality? And I was already questioning that shit before this happened. And now I'm questioning the questioning. And like, nothing makes sense to me anymore.
I've said that so many times. Nothing feels normal. Nothing feels right. Nothing feels...
And I mean, it's trauma. It's 100% trauma, because it came out of nowhere. With the other 4 that we were talking about, we had preparation. We knew that this was going downhill. Da-da-da-da-da. Make your peace kind of thing.
Even for Grandma, I mean, I understand she was incredibly important to you, but there was still a decline. We could still see it coming. We knew that there was an end point.
I mean, it's even...
We knew the train left the station.
It's crazier than that for me, because I have been terrified of Grandma going since I was a child. So I've had 30 plus years to come to grips with that. If that even makes sense.
No,
it's
I
like,
get it.
I was terrified of that, because Grandma was, for all intents and purposes, my mom the majority of my life. You know, so she was the one that I was worried about at the time. It never even entered my mind to think about Mom until more recently, comparatively.
Within the past couple of years, yeah.
Because she had her health issues previously, and, you know, making sure she got to the doctor, making sure she went to the emergency room, and I sat up there with her, and like the whole 9 yards, like all of that. All of that.
Took her to doctor's appointments, and
we had no problem doing it.
No.
And it's like, that's fine. But there was nothing
saying that it was close to being the end.
Exactly. Like, there was none of that.
She was 61. She just turned 61 in June. Like...
And it still fucking rattles me. And I know I'm saying that only a month out, but...
It still rattles you.
Picked a hell of a time to quit fucking smoking.
Yeah.
But because of all this, I'm scared to even fucking smoke.
Yeah.
I'm scared to do anything.
I mean, that was the amount of trauma this has caused. And I
went back to fucking therapy. I've started weekly therapy again already, because I know it's going to be a fucking problem. Well, and it's already been a problem.
I mean, hell, what was it? The day of the funeral? I had a psychotic fucking... Oh, you're pregnant. I have an IUD. And I'm not saying they're...
Was it the same day, or was it... I know it was right around there. I think it was the same day.
The day of the funeral that I had that happen.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Which was the following Friday, so the 15th.
Yeah.
And, like, that's crazy shit. I understand, I understand. I have an IUD. They're not 100% effective. I get it.
But that was for goddamn ridiculous.
The chances of...
But that's how much anxiety and it broke reality for us.
Everything. And I know I don't have to say you would never believe me, because I know you would. But people out there would not believe me.
I don't know what the fuck to believe anymore, honestly.
I heard a voice say I was pregnant. I heard it. It was weird. It was I don't have very many auditory
cues like that.
Yeah. Mine are all...
No, I see, and that's the thing, that with all of the shit that I have been through, whatever the fuck, I've never had that part of it outside of like being half asleep.
Yeah, and I was going pee.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never had that fully awake, conscious, completely.
But I know you wouldn't be like, that's bullshit. You're lying.
No, I think different people have...
I hit my elbow. Sorry.
I think different people have different things they can perceive, and I don't know that I can perceive that part of it.
That's fair.
Because outside of a handful of things, and again, you know, in and out of consciousness, half asleep is when it happened, I've never fully seen something either. But I can feel shit.
Yeah.
Like, I have that intuitive thing where it's almost like I ask a question, and before I get done asking the question, I have the answer in my head.
Yeah.
So I think that is more my side of it. And I'm having to tell myself that the intrusive shit is not that same thing. And that's the hard part right now.
Yeah.
Because the intrusive shit is just running on a goddamn loop right now, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's a million different things. It's a million different possibilities. Well, what if this happens? Well, what if this is happening? What if this has happened? And
because
it's just, it's nonstop.
Yeah, because not only has it started anxiety about mortality in ourselves, it has started anxiety about life in general. Everything. Like, oh, I had an air pocket move in my side. Oh my God.
And it doesn't help that I've been congested, so there's a bunch of congestion in my fucking chest, and it's just like...
Yeah. You know, then you hear certain things or you see certain things, and then you start it enhances the anxiety.
It's the WebMD bullshit.
Yes.
Think something, you Google it, and oh, you got cancer.
Yeah. Like, it's all... Yes. That's how...
And I'm not saying that doesn't happen sometimes. I'm just saying the vast majority of us self-diagnose and it turns into something that it shouldn't be. And I'm having to hold myself back from that slippery fucking slope right now.
Well, because, you know, I have hypochondriac tendencies anyway.
Used to be a lot worse.
Yeah. But and it's not to the point where I'm going to see doctors or anything. But I have mentally made myself sick. Like, through the power of my thoughts, I have made myself sick.
I've done it too. You've seen me do it. Where I just had an anxiety attack and I made myself fucking throw up, which isn't fucking healthy either.
Yeah.
I mean, not in all of this. This is before.
Yeah.
I don't know how I haven't done that this time. And hopefully I fucking don't.
I think it's circumstantial. And I think that with different emotions behind the trauma, I think that dictates how things are handled. Like, I've been eating more. It's not...
I've been eating less.
So, for me, when it's stressful in the way that my anxiety is heightened, where I am worried, that's where my appetite goes away. When I'm thinking, oh my God, the worst is going to happen all the time. What's going to happen next? If it's worry, then I'm like, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I don't want to do this. This was completely different, and it has not happened a whole lot, but I started eating because I was sad. Just the best way I've been able to describe it is just utter heartbreaking devastation.
It's just heartbreaking.
And
how I deal with heartbreak is the exact opposite. Nothing tastes good to me. I have to force myself to fucking eat what little I have.
Yeah.
The past couple of days it's been better, luckily, but I mean, for a while there, it was touch and fucking go. Like, you had to make sure that I was eating, and not even because I don't want to eat. It was just my brain was all over the place and I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then whenever I would eat, it was just like force feeding myself where
Yeah.
I had to.
I just wanted to make sure that you were getting a few bites each meal. That's all I cared about.
And I've lost weight, and of course that concerns me, but it's just like, no, dummy, you haven't been fucking eating correctly.
Yeah.
On top of the sleep not being right, on top of the everyday stress, on top of anything else. It's just
on top of life.
That's what I'm saying. It's like all of that other shit didn't go away.
Yeah. Throwing death on top of life is...
And having to deal with both simultaneously
is incredible. It's a weird free fall sensation. It's like because when you're in one of those.
It's the bipolar shifts. It's like you don't know what is going to trigger what's going to cause what,
right?
Which side your brain's leaning toward at any given moment. It's just like, oh, I guess we're doing that now. Like,
well, yeah, because you're just suspended in limbo. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those G-force rides where you are dropped and you're just kind of floating for a second.
I like that analogy, but I think more wave pool. Where you're in the wave
that makes it
pool
scarier for me.
And you know it's coming, but you don't know how hard it's going to hit.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of riding it until it, and then.
Yeah. I think I'm going to, for my own mental sanity, I think I'm just going to stick with the weightlessness because you don't know where you're going to land or how it's going to go. Because wave pools terrify me.
They've always terrified me.
I'm sorry. I mean, if it's sucking kids under and putting them at the bottom, stop making wave pools. That's all I'm saying. Is our doggy dreaming?
Yeah. I don't like it whenever she does that.
I know.
Not the dreaming. I'm fine with the dreaming. It's just whenever she starts like
twitching and
yeah.
Yes.
And the fucked up thing is I haven't wanted to talk in general.
Yeah.
And that's... Everybody knows that's not fucking me.
Not you.
Everybody saw it on New Year's Eve. Gabriel was worried about me. Mandy was worried about me. Jimmy saw it. Ariel fucking saw it. Like, you obviously saw it. And everybody was worried. And I felt like a dick because everybody was worried about me whenever we're supposed to be celebrating.
It's, circumstantial. A lot of things are circumstantial. It wasn't about the day.
But I was trying to get away from everything that one day, and it seemed to be the worst on that day.
Because that was the day she would have called you. Like, you can't pick a day that you know she would have called and be like, I'm going to distract myself, because you know it's not going to work. You know that it's always going to be right there. And you know you. But
I knew she wasn't going to call. It's not like...
There's still the, not the expectation.
Well, the way that my therapist explained it is that it was the first.
Yeah.
And your body and brain don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So it just goes into fucking panic mode, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not fun because I was just sitting there and I got my heart rate up to 140 and didn't even fucking realize it.
Yeah.
Until I stood up, looked, and I was like, shit. And that's when you and I just walked outside and I was just like, I have to get some cold air right now.
Yeah. Because this isn't just, all of this is just fucking weird. Because, and I hate to bring this, I hate to say it this way, but you're the first one to lose a parent that, like a mom. A mom you are, yes.
Well, mom, yeah, but Gabriel lost his dad. And that, I'm not going to put all of his shit out there, but
that was rough.
It fucked him up more than a lot of shit has fucked him up. Whether or not he'll admit it now. Well, he does admit it now, so I can say that, but like, it's not easy. I mean, Jimmy lost his brother.
Yeah, that was rough.
Mandy lost her brother.
That was rough.
You know, Ariel lost her dad. Like, everybody in our group has lost a lot. just because they haven't died doesn't mean you didn't lose them, and doesn't mean you weren't going through the same fucking shit.
Oh, I know.
I'm just saying, don't downplay it, because that shit arguably hurts worse than anything the rest of us have gone through. I'm that's just what I think, because I've been on both sides of that coin, and I know how much the other side hurt too. So loss is loss regardless. Talk. I don't like you just staring at me like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, you were talking, so I was just waiting for you to finish what you were saying.
I did.
Well, no, because you were in the middle of,
I just said loss is loss.
Well, I know. But you were saying stuff other than that. That everyone's experienced loss, and it's absolutely true. It just... The masses look at loss differently.
I don't give a fuck what the masses look at.
Um,
Because the masses don't understand our dynamic. They don't understand our parenting dynamic. They don't, like, how many things about us do the masses understand? Exactly. That's why I don't give a shit anymore. I can't.
I know, but, and I don't even want to talk about this. I struggle with my own shit when it comes to family, because people look at reactions based on how long or what relationship or what relation you had towards that person. So I'm gonna have to not comment on things like that, because
agree with that, because there have been people that came into my life and changed it immediately. Yeah. There's been people that were in my life for a very long time that had very little impact on it. So it's just, for me, I've always seen that since I was a kid. Yeah. I've seen that. So I don't give a fuck. Like, if you lost somebody, you lost somebody.
Yeah. I just
and you don't know what's going through the other person's head.
And I'm not trying to, like, downplay my feelings or what
no,
I'm
I
going
know.
through or anything like that. This is not what this episode is about, and I'm not gonna, like...
We didn't have a plan for what this episode was going to be about.
Yeah, but I don't... making it about what I'm going through because of this...
That was the point. That
was the
entire point.
This goes back to what I was just talking about, how people... I shouldn't be acting a certain way because she wasn't this, or I wasn't actually that, or this or that.
But see, the outward perception, they don't know how you felt about her, about how she made you feel. They're not in your head, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Fair.
It's
just a lonely boat over here.
But it's just a lonely boat. That's it. We're all grieving.
Oh yeah. No. I'm just saying it's a lonely boat. That's all. Again, that's why I did not want to talk about this. This is not what it needed to be. It's not about me. This is not about me. It's not.
Yes, it is. It is. And you putting up the stiff upper lip shit is what's been getting you into trouble. And don't act like it isn't.
It has not trouble.
Yes, it is. You can't fucking sleep at night. Don't tell me it's not.
Well, fair. That's fair.
So talk.
It's just really... I was just saying it's really lonely on this side of it because, one, I'm married in. Two, I have no relatives of my own. So people are like, well, why are you reacting this way? No one's checked on me. I mean, outside of, obviously, you're checking on me. Sis has checked on me. Gabby's checked on me. Mandy, Gabriel, hey, how you doing? 0 people outside of that. 0. So it's lonely. And the death of someone who didn't give birth to me, that healed parts of me because of the person who gave birth to me. And I take nothing, absolutely nothing away from you and Crystal. 0. God, no. I would never do that. It's just a lonely boat because, you know, like Aaron, he has his mom. Fucking Julie's the shit. Jay's the shit, you know. So it just makes the healing and the grieving extra. And I really don't know how, and it doesn't really matter how everybody sees me in this situation, I guess. Because again, like I was telling my therapist yesterday, I was like, it seems wildly inappropriate, incredibly selfish, and I don't need to say anything about it.
Yeah, but that's causing more shit.
I'm talking to you about it. I'm talking about it. I just don't like to because it seems like I'm being... I can hear people saying, and not anybody in particular, so it's not that. It's
I know who it is that's saying it.
You know.
And it's in your head, and I know who the fuck it is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can see where people would be like, why are you so... She wasn't your mom. I can see that. I've heard people say, not towards me.
No, it's not you've heard people say that. It's you've heard one person say shit like that and it hurt you. And it's stuck with you this entire fucking time.
Yeah, but there are people out there that are like that.
But you don't give a shit about them. It's the one person that said something like that at a very important time in your life. And it destroyed you. And it's still fucking with you to this day.
I wish I didn't have to say which time in particular are you talking about. Are you talking about all of them? Are you talking about one in particular? Or
there's one in particular that I'm talking about, but the car situation.
Yeah,
that's the one that I'm talking about in particular. And I know that sounds trivial whenever you just say it like that, but knowing the full story and knowing everything,
yeah,
I know how much that impacted you. And it's that voice in your head that is doing this to you. That's
because
disregarding your feelings.
I do fear like people in your family being like, why
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. They're my fucking family and I don't give a shit what they think. And I'm not saying that I don't love them or appreciate them or anything like that. It's just their opinion of how anybody is reacting right now means nothing. Because it means nothing for me to say how they're feeling either. Everybody's dealing with this in a different fucking way.
I just think that
the same way we all dealt with grandma's passing in different ways. It's not part and parcel.
Yeah.
Nobody has an opinion on how anybody else is grieving.
Yeah. Because that's
just a fact, in my opinion. And if anybody does, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's just, like, this is going to be my only chance to grieve for a parent as well. No, she didn't give birth to me.
I think you learned from last year it doesn't matter if they gave birth to you or not.
It doesn't. I have 3 phenomenal kids.
Well, I meant because of my reaction to Grandma.
No. But I know that from my side, too. I have 3 beautiful children who I did not give birth to, who I just took one to a fucking college audition today. So I know. You don't have to give birth to children to absolutely adore them. I love all my kids. And literally, I don't have a favorite. I don't have you know how like, oh, there's you love one more. No. Even
We're not scumbags though, so we don't have a favorite kid.
yeah. I just I don't, again, and this is going to make me sound selfish. A lot of people aren't going to see from my point of view that this is my only shot. This is my only shot at family. Extended family, the cousins, aunts, uncles. This is my only shot for that now. I don't have that to go home to on the holidays. I don't have that to send birthday cards to. I don't have that to share my wins and losses with. That was the last text message that I got to send Mom. Was that I was starting my new job on Monday. I'd have no one else familially, if that's the word. I have no one else to share those things with. Outside of the family that I've created. So yeah, it does feel very lonely, and it does hurt that no one's checked on me either. But I am grateful for the people that have. And it really shows me who deserves my time and energy. So while it does fucking hurt, because this hurts, it hurts that people you thought were gonna check on you haven't checked on you. It hurts. And it adds to the pain that's already there. And like I was trying to tell Joe yesterday, my therapist, I was telling her, I was like, you're already dealing with this. And then you add this, and then this whole situation has held a mirror to me. And I'm only talking from my perspective because I have seen for other people that it holds a mirror. Death, tragedy holds a mirror up to yourself, especially if you're on a journey like we've been, because you look at the situation and you look at how you have reacted. Currently, how you are currently reacting and how you would have reacted. And it's like, whoa, that's growth. That's amazing.
Or in my case, you get the benefit of also regressing.
But that's part of trauma and healing and grief. And it's all part and parcel. And I'm okay with that. But then it also, for me personally, has held the mirror up to all of my loss. And how much I don't get because I never had it. And while I know that there are people out there that are like, well, how can you miss what you never had? You don't understand. And I was trying to explain the amount of emptiness.
Yeah, but then they have never experienced it. Yeah. So they have no basis for comparison.
And I was telling Joe that. I was like, I'm grateful for people like that. I'm so happy though those people don't feel the weight of emptiness. Because this is what this shows. Situations like this really, really show the heaviness of emptiness. Because the vast majority of my life, I've been empty. I've been made to be someone for someone. Or something to someone. And so this emptiness, when it comes to gaps in my life of having familial relationships, having a closeness, camaraderie, fellowship, brotherhood with other people. And then when times like this happen and then you're like made to feel by the masses of, well, she wasn't your mom, so you're going to sit in this box over here. Not knowing that this is going to be my only time. Jody was my only time to grieve a dad. Angie, mom, is my only time to grieve a mom. Because my birth mother, I've already grieved. I had to. So, while
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just the way you did that. It seemed like a hard segue. Like, so, how's your day going? That's what it. Sorry, it did a whole thing.
Well,
in my head.
I know I can't miss what I never had. I know that on a biological term, I know that people are going to have their opinions. It is what it is. I know that people are emotionally going to have their opinions, and it is what it is. But I got more healing from her than I ever thought I would. Because her life healed me in ways. And of course, there were times where it was like, man, I forgot we made plans to take mom to a doctor's appointment and I don't want to go. And you know, those normal life things. And of course I had those with mom. Where it's like, we all had to roll our eyes at her. And that's okay. I mean, even her death healed parts of me that I didn't think were going to get healed. Or start to heal.
It gave you a bigger understanding of certain things.
Yeah. It gave me
noticed. While also confusing a bunch of other shit.
It is. It's so... And like, again, and I'm going to reference my therapy session yesterday a lot because it was just a lot of good stuff in there because it was very healing, trying to fix your brain, trying to be the best version of yourself is one of the most gratifying, irritating things. It's gratifying because obviously I don't have to hate the person I look at every day because of my healing. And I still have my issues, my days, my shit. But I'm thankful for it. But it's so irritating. And I was talking to you about this yesterday, where it's like the bell's already rung. You saw behind the curtain. You
the
saw
Matrix
the wizard
analogy.
Yeah.
Once you see the code, you can't unsee the code.
And you can't.
And it sucks. And that's the biggest part of what you and I are struggling with right now. It's just like, I just want that blissful ignorance back.
Yeah. I want to be that ditzy blonde at the concert, just swinging her hair, smacking the woman behind her. Poor thing. I felt so bad for that woman. Where it's like, fucking stop it. I felt so bad for her. I really did. But I want to, not to be an inconvenience to anyone, but to be just so unaware of my surroundings. Just to be in
just
my
to
bubble.
Be blissful like that.
Man,
Yeah.
just swinging my hair, smacking the shit out of the woman behind me. I genuinely want that at some points. Because it becomes so heavy. Because it becomes so much. Because it becomes...
You get tired of being Atlas, dude. Like, that's all it boils down to. It's like,
and I already got a bad back and bad neck and back shoulders. It's like, I don't need to hold it.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, people like us, we grew up different. Like, we had to mourn relationships with our parents at such a young age.
While they were living.
That it fucked us up.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way to describe it. And, like, this is... I wouldn't even say the second time I've had to lose my mom. It's more than that. But it's just, I don't know. I agree with what Joe said about it's the 7-year-old coming back out and just, I don't want to deal with this because that is what it feels like. It feels like all of those other times.
You just want to throw your fist down, stamp your feet and fuck this.
And that's what I did initially.
Yeah.
Whenever I walked in that fucking house, I hit the wall, I picked up the chair, I threw that motherfucker, and I screamed, God damn it, at the top of my lungs. And scared the shit out of my entire family. And it just is what it is. Like, I feel bad because my niece had to see it. But outside of that, I don't care. Because that's just how I felt. And as a kid, I was never able to do that. I was never able to scream out loud and
Same.
like just let it out. I
Yeah.
always had to bottle it up. It's like I'm almost 40 now. Like I don't give a shit about bottling up anything, but unintentionally I do because I'm scared of that
Life?
side of no, I'm scared of that side of me. I'm
Oh,
scared
yes.
of actually burning the bridge down while I'm on it, as much as I say when I'm pissed off that I just want to burn it all fucking down.
Yep.
You know, and I part of me believes that I need to get diagnosed with bipolar, but
Excuse me.
at the same time it's just like I figured out how to deal with whatever the fuck it is for so long.
The bipolar thing on you, I know that you self-diagnosed that a lot. And especially
You
within the
tell
past month.
me younger, knowing how I was younger, and whenever we first got together, you tell me that that wasn't fucking there.
Tendencies maybe, but
Tendencies
actual...
my ass. I was fucking narcissistic like a motherfucker.
Okay, that's...
I didn't give a fuck who I hurt. I didn't give a fuck who I manipulated. None of that shit. It was about me, and that was it. My word was law. And again, yes, okay, maybe it's just tendencies, but me being a piece of shit is a legitimate fear in my life.
And you've done the work to not do that.
After being a piece of shit.
Yeah, but the thing is that actual sociopath, actual narcissists
I
are...
didn't realize it at the time.
Fair.
I realized it hindsight.
You're like, that was later.
That's why I'm saying I do think
Fair.
that there is something there. Now I have enough knowledge to know, okay, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but I am self-aware enough to know that I was a piece of shit at times.
Fair.
To some people, probably all the time.
I just... And that's just on my side. And then on top of that, like, I've sat and thought about, like, I've tried to put myself in your shoes. And it's hard for me to do that because the person on my end, on my side of things, I don't think I'll ever reconcile with, which is fine. It is what it is. I've already mourned that. I've already grieved that. But I have, and I can't even begin to imagine. Because I know that, like with my mother, y'all's relationship wasn't always the best. And I know that there was a lot of trauma there, but unlike my mother and myself, there was acceptance of responsibility. There was remorse. There was
Recompense. Where
recompense.
she actually made the correct efforts.
Yes.
On her own.
Yes. And that's what we love. And that's why we love her. And that's why I think that this was more devastating than it would have been before. Because we want to have people that want
to be around us.
Yeah.
That want.
I mean, you and I both have wanted to make people who didn't want to be around us to stay. But I think this does hurt more because of that. She wanted to be around us. She wanted to do better. She was trying. Actually, she wasn't trying. She was just doing.
Like she was taking care of shit on her own.
Yeah. If she needed help, she was reaching out. If she needed a ride to a doctor's appointment, if she needed something, if she wanted to hang out, if she was reaching out, she was asking for help, she was doing the things that we said, hey, do these things so we know, so we can help. She was doing those things. She was doing. She wasn't trying anymore. She was doing. And I know I've told you this before, but I'm so incredibly thankful that you got that. Like the understanding towards
That was not
months
even,
ago.
no, that was less than 2 months before she passed.
But that final understanding, because you guys had conversations, and
We
you guys
in the past
things were on the up
year
and
or
up.
two, we had a lot of conversations like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, but there was just that final realization where I just got it. It's like I told her on no uncertain terms. It's like I finally understand you.
Yeah.
Like I get it now. And her reply back to me because we were texting was just, "That's all I've ever wanted." And that was it. That's one of the last few text messages I have with my mom.
Yeah.
And while it's heartbreaking to know that I'm not going to get to enjoy that, I got to enjoy that. I got to have that
Moment.
that peace and that closure and that full circle close with her before all of that, just like I did with Grandma. And I don't know why I got that ability with the two of them, because so many other people don't get that chance. People like that I know, people that I care about more than anything, you, Gabriel, y'all haven't had those chances, and you're probably never going to get those chances. And that breaks my fucking heart that I got that.
I love that for you. You don't have to feel bad for that.
But I'm not the only one that deserves it. That's the thing.
You know what? I'll take that. I agree with you. We all deserve that. And I don't mean just us as our group. I mean people.
No, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Everybody deserves that.
But
I don't know why I'm the lucky one. But at the same time, I've lost so many people that I cared about that I didn't get to do that with, that by the time Grandma rolled around, it's like, I have to do something. I know this is an inevitability. I have to do something. I have to try to get through this.
Pain causes change.
I'm tired of fucking pain.
Fucking shit, who you telling? And that's what growth is. That's what change is. Change is pain, and that's why they're called growing pains. I mean, it's
Yeah, I don't fucking like it anymore. And I know it's not going to stop unless I just completely disassociate. And
I did that for 30 some odd years. Can we not do that? The little dog with the bowler hat and everything's fine. This is fine.
I did it too. And that's what concerns me, that I'm just like, yeah, let's do that again.
It's easy. It's easy. That's why. Because
it's not easy. That's the fucked up thing. It's like, it's not easy. It's more difficult. It's just so fucking familiar to me that
it's more difficult now.
I would rather do that.
Yeah. It's more difficult now because like we were talking about, you can't unring the bell. We've seen, we can't unsee the things that we've seen. And I know I've told you this, and I know that me saying this will fucking change nothing. And that's okay. But I have to say this again. I'm incredibly, incredibly sorry that this has happened.
So am I. And not just for me. That's what I was telling everybody whenever we were at the viewing. It's like Grandpa, Maria, and Theta, and all of them were coming up to me saying, "I'm so sorry." And all I could think to say was, I'm not the only one that lost somebody.
Yeah.
Like, she was your daughter. She was your sister. Like, yeah. I get it. Like, this is not just about me. And it's not. It's about all of us. We all lost somebody.
Yeah.
and it's not more or less impactful because we're not in each other's heads. We don't know. Nobody knows my experience any more than I know theirs. And that's fine. What we need is to all be empathetic towards each other and just understand that we're all fucking going through it right now.
Yeah.
And to my family's credit, I mean, that day, every single one of us was there, with the exception of Rach, but she lives out
hours away.
That is a completely, yeah.
And she surprised us the next day.
As soon as she could, she was up here.
Yeah.
And we were all together the entire time going through all of that shit together.
And that's why that 2-hour shower I took. That's why I was like, we have to start planning.
And it's shit that we've been talking about doing for fucking ever, but it kicked us in our ass. We were like, we have to do this. We have to do more family shit now. Because this is the shit that we're going to look back on and be like, fuck, we should have done that.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. We didn't do this. Da-da-da-da-da, whatever the fuck.
That's
and
why
I'm not doing that anymore.
That's why I was so happy we actually went on vacation this past year in July. Because we had been talking about it for fucking forever.
At least 10 years, probably more than that.
With different people, we've had that yeah.
And we finally did it. And it was fun. It was Aaron wanted to do something every 5 minutes, but
yeah, maybe
that's just him, though. It's like he likes to just constantly have something to do.
The amount of caring that I felt was insane. Because you're right, everyone showed up when they could. And then outside of that, outside of the family,
all her church friends and all that stuff.
It was beautiful to see. And then it just goes to further show that the impact we have on people, big, small, who we are, what we do, matters. Because the day when you are no longer here and you are in a box and people are standing around you, how you made them feel, who you were to them is important and it's special. I'm not telling you have to spread yourself so thin and give every piece of yourself to everyone. Because that's not healthy. Because I've done that my whole life. It costs $0 to be an asshole, and I get that. But it's also free to be kind. It's also free to be welcoming. To be respectful.
Not only that, it actually makes you feel better in the long run. Because you know that even though the world was unkind to you, you still chose to be kind instead of doing what the world does.
As someone who has been called someone's safest space, it's meaningful.
It isn't it's impactful. Or somebody to tell you, I know I can always talk to you. I know I can always count on you, or whatever.
There's no
the
judgment with
situation
you.
is.
There's no this. There's no that.
It's the biggest fucking compliment that I could ever receive.
Or, oh, no. My favorite one thus far, and I say this because it was recent, unproblematic. After Thanksgiving, there was an event that we did not attend.
Oh.
And I got called unproblematic, and that was the best thing I could ever have been called. So
I had to think. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I knew what I was talking about.
No, yeah, it dawned on me,
But those... We matter. I matter. Which has not always been my policy.
it used to be hard to say.
Incredibly hard to say.
I'm glad it's not anymore.
Me too. You're important. I'm important. Our kids are important. The people we associate with are important. How we behave and how we hold ourselves. The company we keep. It's important.
The love we try to spread. The positivity.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
the kindness.
It's
everything.
free and it feels good. Because I know I have my moments where I feel alone. And I feel like I'm the only person on my only little lonely boat.
That's how I felt on Sunday.
I know.
And that wasn't even, it was 100% the kid scared, just fuck this.
Done. Over it.
Yeah.
I don't want to anymore. I get it. And that's why I wasn't mad at you. At all. Feelings were hurt, yeah. But it is what it is. And I understood because there's no protocol for this. Like social norms go out the window.
There's literally books on it. I'm just saying.
Well,
and all of them are different, so that should tell you something.
Just saying. For anyone who's listening and is
dealing with any manner of grieving, because it's all the same, no matter what the situation is.
And it doesn't have to mean death either.
That's what I'm saying.
By the
like
way.
Any manner of grieving.
Yeah.
Because you can grieve a relationship, you can grieve a parent before they're gone, like anything.
Yeah. And it's just, my hair is doing something weird. I don't know what it's doing. Except I keep seeing it, so I keep wanting to touch it. Anyway. Just do the things.
And that's hard whenever you're grieving. That's hard to just get up and do anything.
And further out from that, the things you've been planning to do. I understand that monetarily, things have to be put on hold. I understand that...
Shit, we know that better than fucking anybody.
Yeah, so I get it. Look for other things. I can't have a monthly vacation, and I can't bring people in, and I can't spend all my days and all my time traveling and caring for everyone.
That'd be great, though.
That would be great. That would be my dream job.
That would be fucking awesome.
That's my dream job.
If money was no object, that's okay. I just thought of another podcast episode.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I can't do that. But what I can do is I can try to organize a monthly potluck. Hey, I know that we all have lives. I know we all have families. I know we all have jobs. I know we all have life. But once a month, can we try to... Hey, I know we won't be able to make it to all of them. Well, we will because...
We're the ones doing
I'm planning it. You know,
and we don't expect everybody to show up for every single one
because that's unreasonable to put that expectation.
But just as much as we can.
As you can.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of being,
we should have done that. We should have done this.
Oh, man, I wish we could have. Oh, we should have hung out. Oh, I wish we would have.
Yeah, fuck all that.
I can't.
And we keep saying that, too.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling this time it's going to fucking stick.
I can't. I've already got our first month planned. Scheduled. Well, I mean, there's more planning, but I can't. That's how I have to get through this. That is how I have to try to make myself feel better, and that all of this is worth it, is by making other people feel better too.
You spread what you felt, not hold it all in.
I'm not gatekeeping kindness.
That's the point. And I think that's what more people need to understand in general. And granted,
there's no gate. There's no gate to our
kindness. It shouldn't take a literal life-changing moment to do that. And it hadn't, because we were already like in that mindset. But
this is just a swift kick in the ass of,
where it's
okay,
just like,
you have
stop
to do
making
this.
excuses,
Yeah.
stop getting in your own way, just fucking do it.
Well, no, because it's also easy to get...
Life gets in the way. That's what I meant.
Not even life. It's like, well, I mean, I guess it is, because you're tired, or you don't want to do anything.
Or you just had a hellacious week, and the kids are doing this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But, like, I plan... And if... I may sound like I'm being bitchy, but even if you don't want to go, I'm still probably going to go to things this year. Like, if it's too much for you, like, if you're overwhelmed and it's like, oh, there's
That's
still...
happened. That's happened before.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, go. Like, I can't deal with it right now.
Because I
missed my sister's birthday one year because of that very thing. And it's not that I didn't want to hang around her or them or anything like that. It was just I mentally was fucked at that point.
Yeah.
And I needed to be away from everything.
And that also goes back into the healing journey. I have to do the work there in order for me to be present and in the mindset that I am in now, in order to do the things that I want to do. I have to be uncomfortable. I have to talk about feelings. I have to...
And that's real fucking hard right now.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
Especially when I'm just like, you fucking do it. I don't want to do it. You fucking do it. That's how I feel 100% of the time. All the time right now. I don't fucking want to. I don't want to. And it's not a mean thing. It's not a nasty, malicious thing. It's just I don't fucking want to. It's not like a fuck you, I don't want to. It's just, fuck it, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. It's an apathy.
Yeah. It's very, yeah. But
and I hate fucking whenever I have apathy, because whenever I have apathy, that's when I want to burn the fucking world down. And I know that's not technically apathy, but that is how my apathy rears its head.
Yeah.
It's, if I don't care, then fuck it all.
Yeah. Or just,
because I know what apathy means.
Yeah. You do. I just do the things. Even if it's not a big, even if it can't be the big thing that you want.
Well, like doing this is like, we've been talking about doing this for a while and we just have not had the wherewithal. It's like, I just said, fuck it, we're doing it today. I didn't even really plan for it. You got home, I was already setting everything up.
It was up before. Most of it was set up before.
I put the lights up after so I could eat first, but
everything was set, like, it was, oh, we're doing this. Okay, cool. But just do the things. Find things.
And do them.
Yeah, because you can't say, oh, well, I can't pay for the whole family to go on a cruise this year. Fuck it, we'll try again next year. No. How about, hey, let's get together for lunch this day.
No, I was going to say go to Six Flags or something, but yeah, that is more cost effective.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because
we're doing a fucking potluck this month.
Yeah.
Just because, so everybody could get together.
Or
and we can
ingredients. It doesn't necessarily have to be a potluck. We're going to plan on a meal. Everyone bring ingredients. Someone will cook. But it's something small. Just because it's not the grandiose thing doesn't mean it's not grandiose. Because in those moments where it's just, hey, we're going to buy a bunch of sandwich shit. We're all going to make our own sandwiches. We're going to sit. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. How many of those moments do you remember over a specific holiday or a specific day that's supposed to be for family?
I do remember, like, the vacations and shit like that. But honestly, the shit that I remember most, like, okay, I generally remember going to see Ninja Turtles at Disney World with Grandpa, Grandma, and Theta. Mm-hmm. I generally remember that.
Yeah.
The potent memories that I have are those Sundays.
There it is.
Whenever Grandma and all of her sisters were talking all kinds of shit.
Cooking.
Laughing, just having a good time. And
music.
I didn't understand any of what the fuck they were saying, but you could just feel that vibe. And her brother was in the back at Grandma and Grandpa's with one of the cousins, and him, the three of them, and well, the two of them and Grandpa were playing pool. I learned more about life that way.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I remember. Those are the things that I carry forward, where that's why Sundays meant so much to me.
And I mean, I understand that we're having to do ours on Saturdays just because travel.
But it's still the Sunday thing. That's how I look at it. It's because we're getting together, like, fuck it, we'll catch up, bullshit. If we need to talk about dumb shit, like negative shit, talk about it.
Yeah.
But then we move on and we are having a good time after that.
And that's another big reason why I want to do those things, is because, yeah, I know Rachel's name. I know Katie's name. I know Vic's name. I know Matt's name. I mean, like, I married Rachel and Matt. Like, I get it. I know these people. I know their names. I know their birthdays. I know their birthdays, and other people don't know their birthdays. Just because people are bad with calendars, and I'm a human calendar. Apparently. But, like, I want to get to know, because I don't have family to get to know. I don't have cousins and aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas, and I don't have that. I don't even think my mother knows my favorite color or my favorite animal. Actually, favorite animal, a lot of people can get.
I'm about to say that one's pretty much been the same for quite some time.
But I want to know if I'm calling these.
It's a koala, right?
Yeah, koalas. Anyway, no, it's not koalas. Anyway, and that was the biggest motivator, is that Mom's death made me realize that this is my one chance.
As far as we know.
No, this is my one chance. Even if it's on just this plane, this is my one chance for family.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, go into the whole reincarnation.
Yeah, this go around, this is my only chance.
That's what I'm saying.
And in order for me to be the family member of whatever anyone's choosing, in order for me to be that person, authentically me as Nisha, you know me, I need to get to know people. I need to know details. I'm a catty bitch. I sip all of the hot tea. Like, I like to know.
And cold tea.
Yeah, cold. I like some fucking refiltered tea. Bring that shit back around. Remember that one time that one bitch did that one thing? Ooh, bitch. Yes, I will recycle tea. I don't give a shit. Anyway, well then it's not tea. Oh, it's still tea. But anyway. But like that was the biggest motivator. Is like, I know that generally, in most settings, situations, I'm dead mother. And I will continue to do so because of Mom.
You were doing it before, though.
Yeah, but I will continue to do so, and I will...
You've had a few good examples in the past few years. Not just Mom.
Yeah, I have. In order for me to be authentically me, I have to get to know people. Because I've always wanted for people to get to know me.
And see, the thing is, if you asked anybody, everybody would say that they know you.
I would hope so.
Like, just...
I'm an open book. Like, ask me a question, I'll answer it.
But you're so open that everybody feels like they know you. Like, I guarantee you, if you asked all of my cousins, they'd be like, yeah, I know Neish. She da-da-da-da-da, and just start rattling off shit. Because that's just how you are.
And I know... Obviously, I've been present for 12 years in the family. So it's just, that was one of the biggest things. It was, that shower changed my perspective on a lot. And like, I've felt the vast majority of my life has been, I was a purpose for someone else. And I realized that I still am.
But that it doesn't have to be in a negative way.
I can choose this. I can choose this path in life. I can choose to be the person that people want to call for advice, for, hey, let me see what she thinks about this. Or, ooh, she'd get a kick out of this. Or let me see if I'm tripping. And I've had people call me, and you've heard those conversations. Let me call Nisha.
I've heard that from multiple fucking
Let
people.
me call Nisha. Let me see if I'm tripping.
Like,
on
hold
this.
up, am I tripping right now? Like, yeah, bitch, you tripping.
Because I will either A, tell you, yeah, you are. Knock it off.
Or B, be like, I don't know.
Do I need to turn into an FBI agent?
There's some smoke right there.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And
I've heard both sides of that.
And I will be that person. I will be...
You're unapologetically honest, but in a way nicer way than I used to be. I've gotten better about it, admittedly, but...
And I know this is a weird fucking thing to say for this episode and this moment, but thank you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for leading the life you've led. Mistakes. And
why'd you start with mistakes?
Huh?
Why'd you start with mistakes?
I mean, no, I'm kidding. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Thank you for everything. Because without you, and I understand that without the older generations, there would be no you, and I get that. But between you and I, and in this moment, without you, without me meeting you, without our paths...
I get what you're saying.
...crossing. I don't get Grandma. I don't get Jody. I don't get Mom. I don't get Sis, Aaron, my niece, my nephews. I don't get my cousins. And if you guys don't want me to call you that, fuck you. I don't get my cousins. I don't get aunts, uncles.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do understand the fact that if I was married before, like I had other in-laws. I get that. And nothing, this is no diss
Shade,
on them
yeah.
by any stretch. They were fantastic people. They were good people. But this...
I've noticed that my family has a unique dynamic to it.
It is.
And I didn't appreciate that until more recently, where it's just like, oh. I mean, we all have our shit. Everybody's got their opinions about this, that, and the other, but whenever it comes down to it, we're a legit family.
Yeah.
Like, that's on some mafioso type shit.
And, you know, everyone is going to have their own opinions and points of view.
We don't agree on fucking hardly anything, actually, if you really break it down. But we're there for each other.
Friday, December 8th, 2023. Everyone showed up when they could. Every single person. And that speaks volumes. Because like I was saying the other night, I have no village. I have a village now, but growing up I didn't have a village. It's a saying for a reason. It takes a village. I have no village. Or I had no village. I got taken in by a village. And we've gotten an add-on to our village. And unfortunately, we lost someone from our village. And it's going to suck. And it's going to take time. And it's going to take getting used to this new normal. But we got it. You got this life. I got this life. Both of ours got to join together.
And make a new one.
And make new lives. We have a whole other generation of people that we get to care for. And it is not an easy or fun job. But you get, like today, I got to take my daughter to auditions for college. I get to see my son and his girlfriend be happy together. I get this life. Unfortunately, a lot of it has been burdensome and hard, painful, so much pain, loss, grief.
All of it.
But I get this. I get to do it. And her death, I don't... I learned more in her death than I...
That's what I've always told you about me. Like, death affects me in a weird fucking way.
I am utterly heartbroken, and I know you are too, and we're all devastated, and this fucking sucks.
But it has this weird way of putting shit in perspective. And for some people, it takes shit out of perspective. But for me, it's always helped, kind of.
Because...
And I don't mean that they're gone. I mean that it makes me appreciate what I do have.
Yeah.
And the opportunity that I do have. Or what, like, however you want to look at it or phrase it.
I hope we get as many years as Grandma and Grandpa did. Together. Because I think we deserve the fucking shit out of this.
We do.
All the progress we've made, all the healing, all of it. We deserve it. We deserve happiness. We deserve all of this. Oh, she's having a scary dream.
As
poor baby. But we do deserve this.
But even if it doesn't play out that way, we got to change. We got to break generational curses already.
Yeah. And
we've got to show our kids that there is a better way. And
I was talking to Kaylee on our way back from the hotel that the auditions were at. It was, we were talking about, I forgot how it started, but we were ultimately, we did end up talking about stuff that we are talking about now, and how through everything, I am very happy that we didn't give them, our children, the shit that we had.
Not as much.
And she goes, I was like, I'm not saying you guys don't have your, but she even made the point to, because I was talking about how our parenting styles and how we've changed and how we've tried. And she goes, well, it's working. Unprompted. Like, that was her response to it. Not mine, not me fishing for.
Not you goading it out of her.
And it was immense. Because again, all of this brings a mirror to so many things that I can sit down and I can look at and say like, okay, because I compare myself to my mother a lot. It terrifies me to be her. But then I can look at today. I can look at
whenever we were having that last conversation with Kaylee.
So many.
There's so many things you can look at and point to and be like, I made a different choice right there.
Yes. So many, because I did the work.
You did. And nobody can take that away from you.
You did the work, and I'm proud of us. And at the end of the day, I know that our kids will look at us and be like, we see that you've tried. We see that you are actively doing things differently, and thank you. My daughter told me it's working. So what else, or anybody else?
Chris has said the same thing to me.
So if anyone else has, outside
I don't give a fuck
my
if
children,
anybody else has an opinion about it. My children told me I'm doing good.
My kids say,
and I know that sounds a lot like, oh, my mom says I'm cool.
Cool.
But
I don't give a shit. My kids think I'm cool.
Kid's opinion of me as a parent is the only thing that matters to me, realistically.
Agreed. Because I know my opinion of my mother, and my opinion of my mother and my kid's opinion of me are two totally different things.
That's a win to me.
So as much as I would love for Mom to be here. Because there's so much that's coming up. And I know if you were to ask living Mom if she would have wanted to stay here to see all of it, obviously she would have said yes. But I know that however all of this works, she sees, she hears, she feels something.
But she's at peace on top of that.
Yeah. And because of her, I get to see things differently now. She already helped in pieces of that before that. Whether I saw it then or not.
Well, you don't have the benefit of foresight. You only have the benefit of hindsight. Unfortunately. I mean, I'm not getting into that.
And I think now, especially after the past couple of years, you would agree that she actually did her best. She did what she thought was best. She did.
After a certain point, yes, she did.
Yeah.
But that's all that mattered. And I'm not taking anything away from her. It's just she and I had that conversation too.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it now just because she's gone. It's like things weren't right for a very long time. Yeah. But we understood that.
Yeah.
We had that conversation.
Yeah.
And she made amends for it.
She did
we both mended the fence, so we had that little bit of peace left.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that.
So am I. So am I. Because I try not to live vicariously through anyone. Because I think that's unfair to the other person. I really do.
But at the same time, I understand it. Especially in this situation.
But you getting peace and understanding and closure in the relationship with your mom. Means the world to me too. Not just to you, because I know how much it means.
You saw it. You saw firsthand exactly what it did.
Yeah.
So.
And like I've said so many times, I'm so fucking stoked you got that. I'm so happy you got that. Because I kind of got it too a little bit. And I know it'll never happen in real life. And that's my own thing. But I'm okay with that. If the other reconciliation never happens, I'm okay. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And I'm not saying that I may or may not be upset later on down the road. Whenever that happens, whenever I have to deal with that, because I'll ultimately have to deal with at least something. I'm okay. Because I got those things. And maybe they weren't exactly meant for me. But at the same time, they kind of were. In our relationship and our journey together. And our journeys separately as individuals. It's all of this has been, I guess it's all working towards something. And I guess I kind of feel like Randall from Clerks 2, where it's not building towards nothing. It's building towards something. I just don't fucking know what it is yet, but I don't know how we're going to get past this. And I don't know how the new normal is going to go. But I know it is going to go. Because that's how we're going to honor. Because I didn't know Todora. Unfortunately.
You never got to meet her.
Yeah, because she was already, had been sick. So I never spoke to her. I never got to hear her voice. Diane was a sweetheart. And again, didn't know her as well. You did because they lived...
I grew up next door.
Yeah, she lived next door. With Jody, he wasn't the first male figure in my life that wasn't a piece of shit. But he's one of the ones that I related the most with because he was the step-parent. He was the outsider who married in. And I felt very...
You felt a kinship there.
So much. And I miss him. All the time. With Grandma, again, she never made me feel out of place. Even though she was 2 generations older than me. And again, we got together in a very precarious way. And with Mom, obviously. But they're the reason why I know that things are going to keep going. And we're going to keep trying our best. And doing our best every day. Because we know that if we give up, if we check out early, we do them a disservice. We're disrespecting them. Because they would have never wanted us to take that way out or feel the amount. I mean,
I know what you're saying.
They would be upset that we're crying. Not because they would be angry, but because they don't want us to hurt. But that's why I'm going to continue scheduling a fucking potluck or a meeting every month until I can't anymore. Because I have to honor them. And that's how I know that you will never be the person that you were before. Because that's how you will honor them. You will do the things. You will be the person that you've always wanted to be. Because that's how you will honor them. That's how you will make Grandma proud. That's how you will make Mom proud. You continue going on in life, making the best choices, the choices that they would want you to make.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, most of them, but that's how I know. And that's been my biggest tool in my tool bag of grief. Because I've had to hear you, and I've had to hear Kaylee say, why? I don't fucking want to do this anymore. I want to check out. I want to check out.
And not even like that. It's just, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because it doesn't feel it's not the same feeling.
Yeah, but it's still very in the same vein, kind of. But it's
more nihilistic than
yeah
anything.
There are going to be good days, there are going to be bad days, and every day in between. And days like Sunday are going to happen. Days like today are going to happen. Where it's just a fucking good day. Hopefully the Sundays are more few and far between. And I don't know if I just hogged the microphone or if, like, I felt like I was talking incredibly copious amounts when I shouldn't have been. I don't know.
It's okay.
And I have to hold on to honoring them. Because currently I feel that if I let go of that, then it's a very, very fast spiral to a not great place. And I've come too far to go back.
We all have.
I understand that there's small regressions, and that's normal, but But yeah, I think I'm just gonna, and I think we all should just live to honor them. Not make choices that they would make necessarily, like, oh, I wouldn't get the blue one, I would get the purple one, or oh, don't do that tattoo, or whatever. Live authentically to yourself, but also make them proud. And I will continue to do that, and I know that everyone else will too.
I don't even know if that picked up. That was funny.
I think that's all I have.
Do you want to do the sign off?
No, you can do this time.
I don't do it though. That's the point.
All right. Fine. Let me get all the mucus out of my nose. Let me fix my hair so I can kind of look. Oh, nope. Anyway. All right, everyone. Do all the social media stuffs. Like, subscribe, share. You're not alone. Reach out if you need it. And come back next time. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you like this episode or know someone who would, please help us grow the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Keep up with all episodes on Buzzsprout or anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Tune in next week, folks. Same that time, same that channel.